Everybody hates change. I hate change. You hate change. But the one thing we know for sure is things are going to change. The second law of thermodynamics says that everything is going to change and everything's getting more random. And if you don't believe that, when was the last time you looked in the mirror? You do not look like what you looked like when you were 20 or when you were 30 or when you were 40. It's interesting, though, that the Episcopal Church addresses that in the prayer book. Now, one of the things I'm going to tell you about the prayer book here is that there are pages in the prayer book that have been completely untouched by human hands. One of them is page 9. Now, I'm going to open to page 9. If you listen, see? Never been opened before. Anyways, what you get here is the preface. And the preface says something along the lines like this. In the church, there's things you gotta do, and there's things you ought to think about. And if you can't prove they're in the you gotta do, then you have to throw them into the think about. And the think about ones can be changed, they can be blown up, that you do get rid of them. The church recognized that there's going to be change. Now you might say, oh, but that prayer book, that was 1979. That's a bunch of modern people. But actually that preface was written in 1789. And what it says is that what you do is, yes, there's a very few things that are really important. Those are your values, and you need to stick with them. But a lot of the other stuff is basically just dressing. You know, it can change. You can get rid of it, but it's not the important thing. And a lot of times what happens in change is we really are comfortable with the things that aren't important. They're important to us, but some things got to change. And what we need to do is, when we're in a period of change, is to focus on the things that are important. And the things that are important is the mission and the ministry of the people of God. And that we're here to love. I mean, Jesus said it very simply. I'll give you one commandment. I realize 2 commandments is too hard for you. I'll give you one. I want you to love. And so we really need to think about, how are we going to love the people of God at St. Mark's and outside of St. Mark's? And then the other things will build around it. And some will change and some will be good. Some will serve us for a while and some won't. But it is hard to change, and I know that. Often the Episcopalians are called the frozen chosen because they get so really locked in on the minors that they begin to believe they're the majors. But the major is to love like nobody's business, to love like Jesus Christ. We're going to get through this time of change, and you're going to be loved. But I guarantee you, we're going to find ourselves in a good place. Keep talking, keep listening, keep caring, but keep loving.